Hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone. Sorry we're a few minutes late. We could not locate our camera. So we obviously need that to go live.
We do. Thankfully, we have a whole team here in the Frugal Rules household, including our lovely daughter who found it for us. So
Yes.
we're grateful to her and to all of you for joining us.
Yes. All that said, happy Friday. Hopefully y'all have some fun plans this weekend. Curious to know what y'all are planning on streaming this weekend, other than college football, of course.
Yeah. So we just started The Penguin.
Yes, last night.
Max. That was good. I've been watching the new Rings of Power series, which I understand many people don't like, but I think it's pretty good. And there's lots of other great stuff out there.
Yeah, there is. And before we get started, go over some deals that are still out there, some tweaks to some of the deals that I've mentioned over the last few weeks. Well, first, I'm going to mention that Monday Night Football this upcoming Monday is going to be slightly different. Jacksonville Buffalo is going to be on ESPN only, and the Commanders, or the Commies as I call them, and the Bengals are on ABC and ESPN Plus only, and they're basically running at like the same time. So keep that in mind for this week. And also, before I get to the deals, we're not going to be here for the next 2 weeks. Unfortunately, next week we're going to be down in Manhattan, Kansas for K-State again, and hopefully meeting admin reps on campus. And then the following week, Nicole's going to be out of town visiting her parents. And y'all don't want 30 minutes of me. So,
Maybe they do, John.
They don't.
Just do a poll. Find out.
They don't. So into the deals. Paramount Plus on Monday this upcoming Monday is when their deal is ending, and that's effectively half off. So $30 for Essential for the year, or $60 for Paramount Plus with Showtime. So that ends on Monday. And Fubo is still offering $30 off a month. YouTube TV, they had in the middle of the DirecTV stream Disney debacle. They were offering a 3-week free trial plus $8 off a month for your first 4 months. They have since dialed that back. It's now a 10-day free trial and still the $8 off a month for the first 4 months. And DirecTV Stream is still offering, and they're being cagey with the date, just whenever. It's going to end whenever. Is
Shocker,
offering,
they're being cagey?
Yeah, $15 off a month for the first 2 months for entertainment, so the base tier, and $20 off a month for the first 2 months for the higher tier plans. That's totally fair, because as a Cowboys fan, I wish Jerry Jones would just go off into the great beyond, or whatever you want to call it, and leave my team alone, but it is what it is. Anyway, the first topic we're going to discuss today, likely has seen it, Dish and DirecTV are in talks again to possibly merge. So AT&T, who's the primary owner of DirecTV, they own 70%, and their joint venture partner TPG has entered into early discussions to merge DirecTV with Dish, who is owned by EchoStar. If successful, this would create the largest pay TV provider in the U.S. I've read this week numbers anywhere between 16 and 19 million that it would create. And this is really, it's not really surprising, because they're both continuing to lose numbers. And I know during the Disney carriage dispute that was a few weeks ago, or that started a few weeks ago rather, they were losing subscribers because people weren't happy that they were missing out on ESPN and ABC and the like. So shares, so on the news, EchoStar, parent company of Dish, their stock has gone up as a result during the week. And the companies had previously attempted to merge just over 2 decades ago, back in 2002. But the Department of Justice blocked it over antitrust concerns. I wonder what has changed over the last 20 years in the TV cable landscape. A lot has happened in the past 2 decades, and they're obviously experiencing some pretty serious issues with cord cutting, and so it's not a shock at all that they're in talks again to try and survive together as opposed to die out alone. Competitors like Comcast, Prime Video, YouTube TV, Netflix, and others have been able to clear some hurdles. So maybe it would be better for them now. They'd have better chances possibly. And though they would still likely get some antitrust concerns from the government, the expanded competition in the industry might allow the deal to go through. And it would arguably, I don't know that I would necessarily agree with this 100%, but it would arguably give them, the two combined, greater leverage when negotiating with content providers, namely someone like Disney, who DirecTV just had issues with. And for Dish, the merger would allow the company to redirect its investments towards building out its 5G wireless network, aligning with its long-term growth strategy. And that's really where Dish EchoStar has focused over the last recent years. And if you remember, we did a video on this year and a half ago. They were in exploratory talks back in early 2023. So now they're back at it again. And EchoStar, which merged with Dish last year, they add a new dynamic to this conversation, most notably the debt that Dish has. So that it will be interesting to see how this plays out over the next few weeks, if this is just more of what we saw happen a year and a half ago, where it was just taking each other's temperatures, or if this is really serious talks, or if it was DirecTV seeing that what's going on with Disney, or what went on with Disney rather, and hoping for trying to beef themselves up to get more strength behind them, strength in numbers. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of Disney and what happened with them, that's our next topic, is on the DirecTV Disney carriage dispute. I'm sure you already know, especially if you're a customer, that those channels are back. They were back as of Monday. And Disney and DirecTV agreed in principle on a new multi-year contract, expanding their partnership. They're claiming it's providing greater choice, value, flexibility for customers, etc. But what is it really doing? So the deal does, in case you don't know, all Disney-owned networks. So you've got, including its local ABC stations, ESPN, FX, all that stuff. It also incorporates the ability for the highest end subscribers to get Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN Plus, with DirecTV paying wholesale rights to distribute them. So they get a cut of that. And this is being touted as, at some point, customers will be able to select packages tailored to their interests. And that's what we are following. Is this moving us more towards a a la carte kind of offering?
That's marketing speak, in my opinion.
I agree.
100% marketing
I
speak.
agree. And even though, some of that marketing speak is, oh, this is revolutionary, I thought TV Answer Man had a great quote on it. And I've got it up here. He said, the DirecTV Disney statement may look promising to those who want to order channels based on specific interests, but I have strong doubts that we will see a DirecTV package of only sports channels anytime soon, if ever. And there's that bit right up there. And the reason for that is because this deal is only with Disney. So, Charter didn't make a similar deal with Fox. They don't have a deal with TBS. So the only sports channels that you would maybe be able to get just on their own would be the ESPN networks. And some of this talk has been around Disney making its standalone direct-to-consumer service available to like DirecTV stream customers or DirecTV customers. Well, that's not really anything revolutionary at all. So
and I think I like the potential, or at least them coming to that agreement, but like TV Anchorman said, I don't see it happening anytime soon, if ever, especially with what's going on with Venue and them being opposed towards each other in that. And you have players like Spaceco saying if AT&T is involved as the majority owner, AT&T does not care about service, customer service. And then you have Disney, who's involved, and these two big players that they're going to make sure that whatever it is as expensive as possible or next to impossible to get. I don't see how it's going to work out. And Lou also brings up a great point about how streaming services are going to price themselves out. We have a topic that we're going to be discussing on that here in a few minutes, but it's going to continue to go that way, at least for the foreseeable future.
And what do you think about Fox Sports doing its own streaming service?
They could work with Disney with their new standalone service. I don't know.
And isn't Fox also potentially impacted by the succession issues going on there?
Yes, from what I've read.
Yeah. So
with Rupert Murdoch.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so
they're really up in the air, I think, given that.
Yeah. And so I'm glad that DirecTV and Disney were able to work this out, because it impacted consumers and they were left in the middle, holding the bag. So I'm glad from that aspect that it got worked out finally. But I feel that this is just more kicking the can down the road and not really dealing with the issue. And speaking of prices, the Streamable and Finance Buzz, a few others, put this out this week about which streaming service is going to raise prices next. And it's been, if you look at, I believe it was Finance Buzz that created this chart. If you look at where streaming started in terms of pricing and where it's at now, and it's understandable why they started where they did, because they were trying to gain as many subscribers as they could, because no one's going to come out of this was a new thing, and so pricing was going to have to be attractive. It's not so much attractive anymore, and obviously, and so they report on Netflix has historically raised prices the most, with its ad-free plan increasing by 188% since 2007. Apple TV has doubled in price since 2019, but it's the only platform that doesn't require a premium subscription to avoid ads right now. There's been talk for months that they're going to come out with one, so it would not surprise me to see that soon. Prime Video, they're saying, is the only platform whose standard subscription price hasn't changed since its launch. But what I would argue is they introduced the ad-supported, but to keep what you had to pay more. Was it $3 more a month? So effectively
price increase.
Effectively is a price increase. Mm-hmm. Disney, as we discussed and had in our video a week or so ago, or a couple weeks ago, they announced price hikes across the vast majority of the board of their offerings that are going to take effect next month. Max, Paramount Plus, Peacock, DirecTV Stream, all have raised prices this year. DirecTV Stream had 2 price increases last year. And so it's been particularly on ad-free tiers because they make more money on the ad-supported. Fubo announced price increases for next month to their higher-end tiers. Philo had a price increase, but thankfully they typically grandfather in people. So YouTube TV, YouTube TV, like Spaceco said, has been holding their price for a while. They raised in March of last year, March of 23, and Sling was last at December of 22. And I think they each have their respective reasons as to why YouTube TV, they're the big player. They're the dominant player in the live TV streaming space, and so arguably they don't need to, and they're seeing what's going on with the other services, premium services, so they want to maintain their attractiveness. Sling, they're the most affordable option, as many know, to get ESPN or Fox Sports. And so because of what was going on with Disney and DirecTV and others, I think they're seeing that, well, customers might possibly come to us and be happy to pay half of that. Why should we raise prices? But I would think that they are going to be the next two that raise prices at some point. YouTube TV, though, did go quite a while from their last price increase, so it's going to be fascinating to see how it plays out in the next 6 to 12 months. Because for Sling not to raise prices for almost 2 years now, but really the rub, I think, comes into play, which is what value are they going to offer for the price increase. You have someone like Philo who says, okay, you don't have to pay this, you can stay at what you're at. If you do decide to go up with this price hike, we're going to give you this value for it. So while I don't like a price hike, that's good, they're offering you value. Disney is offering nothing. They're offering always on channels, which you can get in other places, and the like. And so yeah, it'll be interesting to see who raises prices and at what point customers are going to start to tap out, because if you look at DirecTV Stream and Fubo, they're both at near 100, if not more, depending on what you get. And those are cable prices. So
yeah, well, more streaming news and agreements reached. Kind of our next topic is, I think Charter, WBD, were watching what was going on with Disney and DirecTV, and they decided, rather than waiting till the last minute, to try to lock in a deal now. And so that happened. They reached a new agreement. As part of this deal, Charter Spectrum TV Select customers will get Max at no additional cost, which I feel like really isn't much. Max is not that expensive to get on your own, and they're only throwing it in to people with these really expensive plans. Mostly marketing speak, to be honest. David Zaslav, who's the CEO of WBD, described the deal as reimagining the future of video distribution, which that's total marketing speak.
yes,
He's emphasizing that offering Max through Spectrum is a strategic move to keep traditional TV relevant while maximizing the reach of WBD's streaming service. And it's their attempt to compete with other streaming cable integrations like we would see with Comcast and Peacock. Well, Comcast owns NBC Universal, so it makes sense that they would offer some kind of integration there. And I think it's probably just WBD trying to survive, and probably the same for Charter. So I think they both know the writing is on the wall, and they're just trying to get what they can before the inevitable comes.
but yeah, absolutely true, and it is good to see them come to this agreement beforehand without dealing with a carriage dispute that leaves us in the middle without. But yeah, I think it's largely marketing speak. And sort of dovetailing with the question on if the ESPN streaming service will be included in Hulu Live, I don't see Disney doing something like that. I would see them adding it as a tier or as a bundle that you could do. I don't think that they're going to give it to you for free.
Yeah. Also, I think it might cannibalize their advertising. Like, I would think with the Hulu Live and ESPN, right? Yeah, because you'd be getting all those channels as part of Hulu Live, so it's really an offering for people that don't want everything else. They only want the sports. So I don't think it would make much sense for them to offer it for free. They could certainly market it to their customers, but then again, they would be making less money on them then. So I don't.
Yeah,
I think they're probably trying to get people that they don't already have that only want sports.
Yeah, and Lou comments on hearing that YouTube TV is going to come out with a sort of a slimmed down version of their service. I've heard rumblings of that too, on and off the last, I don't know, year or so. It would be great to see that. Who knows? It's speculation at this point, I think, unless someone knows for sure. Anyway, with venue, as we discussed, this came out, I think, at the end of last week. So the court date has been for Fubo et al. And venue has been set for October of 2025. So not next month, 13 months from now. With a preliminary injunction currently blocking venue's launch. The trial is set to begin on October 6th. It's estimated that
of next year
to last 3 to 4 weeks, and key deadlines include fact discovery completion by March and expert reports by mid-2025. And as we've covered in depth, Fubo is accusing the 3 companies of anti-competitive practices, claiming that they're trying to force Fubo into carrying non-sports channels to license sports content. And it's rooted in concerns about market control. And so people are saying, analysts are saying that this could reshape being able to watch sports and has significant implications for consumers and pay TV providers. So Disney, Fox, and WBD, understandably, are appealing this. They're not happy with having to wait over a year for this, and they are pushing for a December hearing.
A lot of lawyers are going to make a lot of money.
Yes, they are, absolutely. And so they're pushing for a December hearing that would allow them to launch for the NFL playoffs and for the college football playoffs. Obviously, if the launch were to go well, it would allow them to make money on that. So reading everything I've read, having read everything about the judge and how they're viewing it, and knowing how Congress was looking at it, it would surprise me to see the judge to say, sure, let's bump up the trial by 10 months. That would really surprise me. And there have been murmurs that, could the 3 be deciding to just kill off venue? Well, they've sunk tens of millions of dollars into this. There's really no indication of trying to kill off venue before it even launches. Mm-hmm. But one thing to keep in mind is that if, in this game of chicken, if someone is going to pull the plug first, it would not surprise me to see it to be Disney. Yep. Since they are coming out with their own standalone streaming service about this time next year, it would be understandable for them to see the writing on the wall and not want to sink more money into venue. But beside that, there's no indication that.
I also watched a video watched a video from Moffat Nathanson about the streaming business, and they were discussing which players are best positioned to succeed financially other than Netflix. And Disney was the other one that they believe is not quite there yet, but can scale to get there. So to John's point, I think they would also be the one that would be most likely to move forward with their other options and get to that kind of money that they know their shareholders want.
Because Disney's out for themselves, just like every other big company, but Disney sort of takes one of the top spots there, in my opinion.
Okay, well, they would say they're out for you and your kids, but
they would say that, but I don't buy it.
They are a business. Businesses do. It's important for us to remember as consumers. That's true. Yeah. They're always looking out for their bottom line first.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay. Well, something a little bit different here. I know we started off talking about what are we streaming right now? What are you guys enjoying? What are you watching? Saw this article, it caught our eye, that there is going to be, it's not surprising, but there's going to be a lot fewer scripted shows that this fall. And part of that's going to go back to the strikes that Hollywood shut down. It shuts down the production pipeline, but also it has to do with money and all these other things that we're discussing. Content's expensive to create, and so you're already seeing this on Netflix. They're pushing a lot more reality shows that they say aren't scripted because they're cheaper to produce. ABC has cut back on scripted dramas. They're focusing more on reality shows. CBS is scaling down its scripted content. It's filling its slots up more with game shows. NBC is reducing its scripted series, but it is still investing in some limited high-profile stuff. And it's just remember, networks are responding to the financial pressures. Excuse me. Less advertising revenue. Scripted content is the most expensive kind to create. And there's also a noticeable shift. Viewers are watching more on streaming, less on networks. In part, that's because networks are putting their good scripted content on streaming services. I just think we're going to continue to see this, unfortunately.
Yeah,
Excuse me.
And even with scripted shows, a lot of series now, at least ones that we're watching, are seeing it's not a 10 episode season anymore, it's 8. And so again, just more cost cutting because of what's going on in the space.
Or they're taking like 2 years in between seasons. That didn't used to be a thing. So
yeah, for sure. And then one last thing before we go, Amazon is going to be having their Prime Big Deal Days, as they call it, on October mid-October, early access for Prime members 8th and 9th, and then 10th and 11th. They're going to be having up to 40% off streaming devices and TVs. I saw a headline earlier this morning that they're cut 40% off already on Amazon devices. Prime members will have early access to those deals and exclusive offers not available to non-members. And there are also opportunities for additional savings with Prime member-only discounts. And so you will see, you can safely assume that all of the Amazon-branded products, so the Fire devices, Kindles, Hubs, all of that, smart TVs, will see likely pretty significant discounts. Keep in mind that retailers like Best Buy and Walmart and even Target will have similar or matching deals or even better deals. Target's having their Circle Week that week from the 6th to the 12th, so that's something to watch out for. It is also fairly common for Prime Video to have some deals on streaming services during these special periods. I've not read anything yet or seen anything from Amazon on what those will be, but they're typically offers where you'll get some kind of discount for like 2 or 3 months. So that's something to keep in mind if you're wanting to buy a new streaming device or TV or something like that, or to try out a streaming service. And I saw that as well. Space Ghost Roku has Discovery Plus for $1.99 for 3 months. So yeah, if you're looking for something for yourself, Christmas present, whatever, or a series you're wanting to watch, keep that in mind here in about 2 weeks. So yeah.
Snag some discounts. Yeah, and just to answer the question there about Disney Plus, probably what you're seeing there is Hulu content. Disney Plus integrated Hulu content into its platform a few months ago, I think it was.
Yeah.
And then in the story that we covered more recently, where there was a leak, a hack into an employee's Slack account at Disney, one of the things that was revealed was how profitable Hulu is for Disney's streaming business. So I think that kind of sheds some light as well as why they might be wanting to integrate Hulu content over on Disney Plus for the advertising money that they can make on it. But I agree with you fundamentally. Disney Plus came out as a kid-forward service. So Keeping Up with the Kardashians doesn't exactly fit that, but just remember you can always create a kid's profile and filter out content that is inappropriate for kids that way.
And if it's something that you want, I don't watch anything on Disney Plus, but if you watch under the kids profile, the ads are like cut in half.
Yep.
Correct.
Yes. Yeah. I like Star Wars. You guys know I've got my Leia necklace on, and when they come out with their new stuff, we just watch it on the kids profile because the ad breaks are half as long. So hopefully we can keep doing that.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Well, that's all we have today, guys. Again, a reminder that we won't be here for the next 2 weeks. We'll be back on October 11th. I'll make sure to update y'all in the community on any big news that comes out, and we'll, of course, be having videos that come out over that time.
Yep. Thanks for joining us, everyone.
Yes,
Have
thank
a
you.
great weekend.
Yes.